Well, let's talk about the piece that you did in the New York Times the other day. We talked about it, I guess, Monday, maybe it was.
Yeah.
When it came out.
Very fancy, David. Congratulations.
Larry Summers got a little...
he wasn't mad. He was disappointed. He was
disappointed in you on Twitter. That was pretty fun to watch. But this is just talk about why we are not, and this is important because there is always this sort of compulsion by, I want to say, Larry Summers types. But really, in many respects, it's Larry Summers and maybe one or two other people like him who have overseen the turn to austerity on multiple occasions. And he is mad, either, maybe because he was not brought on board in the Biden administration. There's a lot of reporting to that effect. That and is speaking out against the spending that, for a time had decreased child poverty by 40%. And this country has contributed to the greatest job growth that we've had over the course of 1 year that we've been keeping records for. I want to be clear on that because of the New York Times. Just talk about the difference. There's two elements to it. One is the inflation that we have now is not about an overheated economy. It's instead about the way that our economy is structured, of which Larry Summers bears some responsibility.
I mean, yeah, you just summed it up. I mean, what we've just been talking about for a while are all of these forces that have put pressure on our supply chain and led to delays, shortages, and increased prices. Offshoring all of our goods production, mostly to China and South Asia. The deregulation of the nodes along the chain here, from shipping companies to things we haven't talked about like trucking and rail, that have reduced capacity and then increased prices on those types of things when this went down. The disinvestment at the ports, the austerity, if you will, of our public infrastructure, the monopolization, not just of shipping, but of the companies that produce a lot of these goods, so that if any one of them falls down, any one manufacturing plant shuts down, it causes a ripple effect and cascades across the country or across the world. The system of just-in-time logistics, where you don't have any inventory, you have lean inventories, and your idea is that I'm going to get that good off the ship, I'm going to get it into somebody's hands, I'm not going to waste time building space to store away that good until somebody buys it. I want to get as much there as possible. All of these things were part of an economic consensus about how we should structure our markets and our economy, of which Larry Summers was a major, if not the major, protagonist, right? So when he was in the Clinton administration, he argued for permanent normal trade relations with China and inviting China into the World Trade Organization. In fact, he said in a Senate hearing, "I see no downside to this scenario. I see absolutely no problem with doing this." While he was in the Clinton administration, there was deregulation of the shipping industry through this thing called the Ocean Shipping Reform Act, which allowed for a lot of the market power and pricing power that these companies have. When he was in the Clinton administration, concentrated markets happened over the course from the 90s, and when he was in the Obama administration, for that matter, in various areas that have led to inflation. When he was in the Obama administration and the Clinton administration, he empowered Wall Street. And Wall Street kind of dictates a lot of these things through saying that, shareholder value is the most important thing. And what we have to do is, take your profits and don't give them to labor, but give them to us in terms of dividends and buybacks. and reduce your labor to the bone, reduce your capacity to the bone, find the cheapest labor you can, especially if it's abroad. All of the things that that sum up our system, they're kind of directed by Wall Street. And who empowered Wall Street? Well, it was Larry Summers and in those administrations. So I just wanted to make that point, that this is the guy screaming about inflation and using this kind of not entirely 100% concept that this is because of overheating and fiscal spending, when it seems like a cover-up. It seems like he's using that to cover for his own failures of creating a system that was so susceptible to breakdowns.
To the effect of, like, it's sort of funny how you think that my ideas actually had any type of influence on this. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go back to promoting my ideas that are going to change the economy.
It's interesting when someone says in response to, in their own defense, my life's work meant nothing. That was kind of his response to it.
But it should be worth the president listening to what I say now.
Right.
You made a good point too. I think that I saw you say somewhere else, reminding people what his prediction was, that the COVID relief bill was. That's a great way of betting that he, in terms of his.
What he did was, when the American Rescue Plan was coming out, he said, "This is completely irresponsible. This is an irresponsible fiscal policy, and here's what's going to happen. There's a 1/3 chance that we're going to have high inflation and high unemployment. There's a 1/3 chance that we're just going to have high inflation, and there's a 1/3 chance that this is all going to work out." So this is like if you're at the craps table and you bet on every number at the craps table, and then one of them rolls and you said, "See, I told you, I picked it."
I think that's unfair, because he could have said there's a 1/4 chance for those things to happen, and 1/4 is aliens come down and have a ray gun that changes everything. Right. But he didn't, so you don't give him credit for that.
Covered most of his bets, but not all of them, and so for that we can see him as a soothsayer. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, David Dayen, executive editor of the American Prospect. It is one of my daily reads, and actually it's also one of my weekly reads too, because there's a lot of long form pieces in there. Folks should check it out right now and support the work you guys are doing over there. Pretty amazing stuff, and hopefully some of that stuff makes it into the administration as well. Appreciate your time, buddy.
All right, thanks.
All right, folks, time for us to move into the fun half of the program.
Yes.
Where we will take the phone calls and the IMs. If you want to IM the show, you do that by picking up our app at majorityapp.com, completely free. Doesn't matter if you have an Android or iPhone, one of those newfangled iPhone things.
Right.
You can get the app.
Jigs.
Yep.